Hey, Willie, you know what I miss?
What do you miss, buddy?
Man, those long evenings playing Halo and hanging out after crushing it.
Those were the days, weren't they?
Absolutely. Glory days, that's what I call them.
I mean, just go out, crush it, go back to Joe's house, play a little Xbox.
Yeah. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Super 32 has never been better. It's so fun to sit here with all the college coaches come see all the flow guys, and they talk about their program. They talk about, what's going on in this mat and that mat, and it's rewarding, It's enjoyable.
Yeah. I was, when I read something the other day, you're like, man, the Super 32 is like my NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So tell me, I know, is it because it's high school, it's because of how tough it is, but why is it like that?
Well, I mean, I'm so immersed into the high school landscape, and even now with the middle school and junior high kids, with recruiting stuff, it's just when I look back on things, I think I look back on them a little differently than a lot of people. And I look back on them as like I'm jazzed about high school wrestling. I love high school wrestling. Most people, I think, put it in context of if they went on to do good things at NCAAs. That's who they remember, right? If they remember Jason Surtis winning a national title as a freshman. I remember a lot of guys winning Super 32 that never went on to do anything in college, but that didn't mean that they weren't a great wrestler then. In high school, they were just hammers, and life changes, and I remember guys like Freddie Rodriguez and there's a couple Indiana guys that have won this. I'm missing the name. The guy, his name's the Monkey God on Twitter. He fights now, but man, there's so many names that were high school stars. They didn't necessarily go on to do anything in college, but they were so dang impressive to watch in high school.
Gotcha. Since we're talking high school, what are the storylines this year? What are the things to look out for once the season gets up and running?
I think there's a lot of changes this year. California cannot compete against the preps this year, so they cannot go to Ironman, for instance.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So they can't wrestle. Cali schools can't wrestle the Blairs and the Sems of the world, but that's all right. They're gonna now all the Cali teams that used to go to Ironman are going to Reno, so we'll still get to see them. But on both an individual side and a team side, things will be as interesting as ever. There's so much depth in America anymore. Back even 10 years ago, an unranked guy wasn't going to be a top 5 guy. And now, number 15s are as good as the number 5s. And number 30 could beat a number 10. It's just, there's so many candidates to be ranked, and there's so many good resumes, and the overall depth of the country is really strong.
Why is that?
I think, I'm not exactly sure, but for sure there's a proliferation of clubs. There's for sure a guy that was an All-American D3 wrestler goes and he starts a club in his hometown, or a guy that was, a one-time, maybe he didn't even start, but he goes for, a D1 school, and he goes back to his hometown and starts a club. And now there's this, it lifts all boats kind of thing, and I just think there's better training, there's better awareness, there's higher level coaching than there's ever been. It's great for wrestling.
Nice. You having fun, Willie?
I'm having fun. That's the most important part, I think, is that I've been doing this for like 10 years now, and I'm still enjoying it,
Good. You remember that one time when Flow changed their logo and everybody freaked out?
Do we have some? We have some. Yeah, everybody freaked out, which I think is a good thing and a bad thing. We were in Kazakhstan, me and Bader, and that's when it hit Bader, because we found out, okay, the new logo is going to change in a week, and Bader really was like depressed about it, and some of the other guys was like, it's not going to be that big a deal, and it's like, man, think about the times that Joe Flo and Bader wore that brand on their chest and really worked to increase awareness of wrestling, increase awareness of Flow behind that green wave, and the kids, came like a cultish following, and So it's a little more personal, a little more special. It's not just a simple thing, changing the logos, changing our identity. But I think over time people will come to settle down about it. But I really wasn't happy with it at first, but it's the way the world is now.
Hey, still can watch a ton of great wrestling
Yes, you
on
can.
there, right?
Yep.
All right. I love you, Willie.
I love you too, Joey.
You got any?
Hey, thanks for all you're doing too, brother.
Oh, I appreciate
And
that.
I can see this
Hey.
smile on your face, and I know you're happy too, and that makes me happy.
And you just did a Flow Gang sign. I want the world to know I invented that.
You did.
Russia, so I just got to throw that out there.
When we were in Kazakhstan, Bader was pulling up the old clips of you guys hanging out with Russian dudes in a little apartment. Nobody can understand each other, which I understand, and it ended in a very eventful night, but we'll leave that for another day. Love you,
Please
Joe.
do. Love you too, Willie. Thanks, brother.